You know when I was excited to get a weird game like Mutographer, I was like, yeah, come on, let's bring it on. I take it all back. I don't want it anymore. I can't even begin to think where I'm going to go with this one. Welcome back to another game review here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be talking about the experimental music opera game Oikospiel, Book 1 by david-kanaga. Or at least that's how I assume it's meant to be said. No one said the name in the game, and from what I can tell, it's a crafted word for this game, because there's nothing that comes up when I googled it other than information about this game. Like I said, I have no idea where to start with this. All I can tell you is what I do know is true. The game is about someone who has paid a development team to make a game over the next 100 years. Reminds me of that John Malkovich movie that won't be opened until 2115. The goal of this game is to be an adaptation of the work of some poem, play, tragedy thing. And the problem with all this isn't that the game was based on a weird topic or anything like that, but the game that's being developed is made by a team of dogs, and those dogs have no experience coding or making games. So for you, the end user of this game, playing the game that's inside of it, everything is a bit all over the place. The game does not flow like a normal story-based game. Someone who understands game design and knows how to make a game correctly must have taken everything they knew and did the exact opposite when making this game. So the game is a series of interpretation puzzles, where it's your brain's job to understand what's going on here. A normal puzzle would be to take easily defined parts and make a picture out of it. In this game, your job is to decipher what all these parts mean and then experience that answer. That's honestly the best way I could explain it. It's hard enough to talk about what this game is meant to be because it was hard enough just trying to figure out what the game wanted from you. Each new place you go to is a new bag of questions that you need to learn the language for, all while trying to think, what's the story behind all this? There's some story here about workers' rights and the job of the laborer to be given the fruits of its efforts, and how the master steals from the workers. This was all made in 2019, so maybe it's actually a commentary on the growing socialist movement in America, but I'm nowhere near able to start parsing if that's what the intent of this game actually is. After doing some more extracurricular research on this game, this is what I found. The name is an amalgamation of the Greek word oik-os, meaning household, and the German word for play, spiel. So, house play. The intro does a text dump where the story of this game being made is stated. There are a lot of things I haven't heard about or learned about even from tangential context in other media. There are lessons in school about some Greek tragedies and how some modern things are an homage to past works, like how the movie She's the Man is just a retelling of a classic Shakespearean tale. But these are all references to what feels like Greek B stories. Like if there was a story in the future that was an homage to the NBC show Heroes. I've tried to educate myself about what some of these things are, but I'm at a loss for a lot of what's going on. Tristram Shandy, a multi-part story about a gentleman of the same name. It's noted for using tangents and digressions to explain the world it's in, and takes forever to explain what's going on in the book. A sentimental journey through France and Italy. Another book, written by Lawrence Stern, about a character traveling through France and Italy. Fourier, an old meteorologist. Northern Dew. Nothing from what I could find. Existin Z. Existin is Spanish for exist. Oh, that's actually a real thing. It's a movie with Jude Law. I googled Existin and it autocorrected to Existent. And then I made sure I had it right. I added the Z and it gave me the movie. Orpheus, a Greek hero who traveled to the underworld. Okay, wait. The text says, we all wondered what this meant, but it seemed clear enough we were supposed to start small, keep it simple for our bones' sake. So we embarked on designing a linear game, a personal story, based on what we heard DK divining about our future, and his tragic love between himself as the subduer of all creatures, or as he calls himself, DQ, the king of the sad face, or Orpheus, and his accidental burden by a union salt while Eurydice Wolf, originally hired as his personal copyist who he warns will come one day to try to unionize us. And he claims that thus copyrighted animals will not be allowed into the union, and thus will take away our organic, emergent unity. The greatest mistake we could ever make. He says, we will lose our connection to the executive branch. It will be as though our nerves were severed from our spine. Ouch. This might be the most wild, out there paragraph to be ever read, because every line I'm asking, who are you talking about? At the start of the paragraph, they, Pluto the dog, start talking about how they, the developers, want to keep the game simple. Okay, I'm with you so far. Design a linear game about someone's life. Okay, I'm still with you. Then, that's when stuff goes off the rails. The entire next sentence, that's 90% of the paragraph, I can't tell if we're talking about Donald Coke or the character from the game, because Pluto says about 5 defining things and I can't tell what's meant to be an injector or a continuation of the original thought. So, this entire paragraph is either talking about their boss having clairvoyant knowledge of the future, is a sociopath, or a massive jerk. Or it's talking about the plot of the game they're about to start making. DK earlier was described as being an orpheistic anarcho-capitalist, so the parts talking about unions being bad and taking away the power of the worker sort of tracks, even though I highly disagree with the concept, but willing to listen to the story and experience what it wants to say. DQ might be Don Quixote, but Sancho coins a name meaning the Knight of Sad Figure, or Sad Face, depending on the translation. So unless DK is bad at remembering details of the story, or DQ becomes a king and I don't know the story either. I can't do this. I can't stop every second of this game and look up every single thing that this game brings up that I don't know the context for. Especially since I've already played this game and nothing in this exposition explains what I did in it. I've rewritten parts of this review enough to probably rewrite the whole thing 4 times over by now. I can't explain what this game is doing anymore. I'm just going to upload the whole video I recorded for this review, and it's all here for your interpretation. Comment down below what your thoughts are, and I'll read them all. Meanwhile, this has been Mummified Games. My name is Tony. You all do the YouTube dance. Like, sub, bell, comment, and share with someone you know. And as always, friends, keep digging. We'll make it out someday. See you in the next one.